Let's talk all about body recomposition. So this is a highly debated topic in the fitness industry, and I've been wanting to make this video for a long time. Here we are, and I'm excited to provide you the news. In today's video, I'm gonna go over everything you need to know about body recomposition so that you know exactly what you should be doing, what you should not be doing, and if you should even do this in the first place. Before we get into it, what is it? Body recomposition means that you are losing fat and building muscle simultaneously. There's really two main debates a lot of people have. The first is if this is possible after the beginner level. And the second debate is whether this is better than doing the traditional bulk/cut phases. And I'm gonna break it all down in today's video. Now, before getting into it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell as well. So first thing I wanna do is talk about the first debate, which is whether body recompositions is possible after the beginner level. Many people do know this already, so body recomps can be pulled off, but it's usually pulled off if a person is in the beginner level. There's just so much debate recently about people that are experienced doing both at the same time, and a lot of people are curious, inspired, have questions about being able to do a body recomp after the beginner phase. So the perfect person to reference this particular topic in question to is gonna be Chris Bearcat. So Chris Bearcat did an article on this, he wrote a book on this, and he had a lot of podcasts on this as well, talking about if it's possible to do a body recomposition after the beginner phase. And his answer overall is yes. He even had a study that showed collegiate volleyball players gaining 6 pounds of lean muscle mass and losing 6 pounds of body fat at the same time. And overall, he showed that in his studies, it was definitely possible to put on muscle and lose fat at the same time. Now, there was a caveat to his studies, and it was that he didn't account for people's sleep, their stress levels, their hormones, and other variables besides from nutrition and training. Another thing to keep in mind as well is that his people in his study probably had professional guidance when it came to nutrition and exercise, whereas most people in the general population do not. Chris Bearcat verified, yes, you can do it. Yes, it's possible. But the question is, can you do it? And can most of the general population do it? Because let's be honest, most of us are not collegiate athletes. Most of us do not have the best training exercise guidance unless you guys have a personal trainer, which most people don't. For the general population, is this something that can work for you? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna first get into how it's gonna work for the most part and who it's gonna work best for to start off with. So generally speaking, there's 4 variables that I personally would say is needed for a person to pull off a body recomposition. The first is they have to be a beginner. Number 2 is they have to have very good compliance to nutrition and exercise. Number 3 is they gotta have at least half decent genetics. And number 4 is they could be very overweight mixed in with being a beginner. And that's also another way to do a body recomposition. This is gonna be the best chance of a person pulling off a body recomp if they have a few or all of these checked off. Now, for me personally, I think Chris Bearcat's study is somewhat questionable. He did do the study on people that are already like trained athletes. They have very good professional help. Personal opinion, most people are not gonna have more than one of these things checked off as to the 4 things I mentioned earlier. The biggest thing is like training compliance and nutrition compliance. Most people don't even know how to track calories or don't have the time, energy to learn about it. So doing a body recomp for them is gonna be very difficult. I'm gonna say some things about body recomposition as well, some caveats. So the process is really, really slow, and this is one I want to educate people about. Whenever I do lives, especially my TikTok lives, I have people telling me their goals, and a common goal for both men and women is, Adrian, I wanna be losing 20 pounds, but I also wanna put on muscle at the same time. Usually that's what women would tell me. Guys would tell me, I wanna put on 10 pounds of muscle and lose fat at the same time, lose my love handles, lose my belly. And my answer to that is not possible. I know the body recomposition idea seems like the solution, but that is physiologically just not gonna happen. So if you're gonna have any takeaways, one of the biggest ones from today's video is that if you're looking to lose over like 10 pounds, or if you're looking to put on more than 5 pounds of muscle, you're not gonna be doing both, okay? Another thing too is knowing that if you are doing a body recomp, and let's just say you're like qualified, you have those boxes checked off, you're a beginner, you have pretty good compliance, understand, even though you have these checked off, it's a very slow process. And this is another thing a lot of people don't know about. Body recompositions can be very, very, very slow. And I'm talking about after a 6 month period, losing maybe 2-3 pounds, maybe losing a few inches, but getting maybe 10% stronger. So on the scale after 6 months, you have lost maybe 2 to 3 pounds. So you have to understand, like, you gotta have a very good recomposition process and actually be like optimized for that. But your results at the end show that you only lost 2 to 3 pounds. Now, if you're not willing to accept that, you should just scratch the whole body recomposition idea, because the truth is it's painfully slow and the results are gonna be very minimal on the scale at least. If you are someone that doesn't care about this number in the scale, you wanna get stronger and you really desperately wanna do both, and you're okay with just getting a little bit of both, then a body recomposition can be something you can try. You have to make sure that, of course, like you're really dialed in with your nutrition and training. You can't miss days of tracking calories. And if that's you, then you can definitely give it a go, and you probably have a good chance of pulling off a decent body recomposition, especially if your compliance is good and you got half decent genetics. However, this is what I believe is gonna be best for you. And this is my final words about body recomposition. I believe, first off, that there's just a lot of misinformation out there. I think there's a lot of coaches that are misleading people. A lot of coaches are signing up people that need to lose 50 pounds. And these people say they want to lose 50 pounds and they also want to put on muscle. So the coach will tell them, you can definitely do both. And what happens is this person still stays in the overweight, obese range because they haven't actually gotten any results after 6 months. Okay, so I think there's a lot of misinformation about body recompositions. A lot of people are being misled. If you're overweight or obese and your goal is body recomposition and your coach or somebody told you that weight loss doesn't matter, you know, you're gonna do both, and because of that, you're not gonna lose weight, that is complete bullshit. And you need to stop that body recomposition. Okay, because being where you are right now is risky and it's keeping you very unhealthy, and you need to lose body fat. That's your main goal. Which leads to the second thing, and this is the second debate I mentioned in the beginning, whether you should do a body recomposition or stick with the traditional bulk/cut phases. And me personally, I would 100% suggest you stick with the bulk and cut phases. Now, yes, there is the pains of putting on some body fat, a little bit to some body fat when you're bulking. Guys, you're gonna put on some body fat. Yes, ladies, be okay with gaining a little bit of weight when you're bulking. But this phase is gonna be best because you're actually gonna be able to maximize each phase. If you're bulking up, you're going to be maximizing, given that your nutrition, training, and everything is good, you're gonna be able to maximize lean muscle growth. And when you're cutting, you can focus on really losing body fat. So 100% I would recommend this, even though yes, there are some pains to putting on body fat. This is gonna definitely be a lot better for most people. This is also why bodybuilders, professional bodybuilders, have their standard bulking phase and their cutting phase, because if a body recomposition was really the holy grail and it was really easily pulled off, then professional bodybuilders would definitely take advantage of it, and they wouldn't have an off season where they're bulking and in a prep season where they're cutting weight. As a summary, with body recompositions, does it work? And can it work for people that are past the beginner phase? Yes, and Chris Barristat did confirm that in his studies. What I will add on to that is that these people in the studies are professional athletes, they are collegiate athletes, they have very good professional help. So in actual practicality, will it work for you? Probably not as well, or probably not at all. Okay, so that's the first point. The second thing we went over is just misinformation in the fitness industry. You have to be informed with the actual truth, and this is why I made this video. You cannot lose 20 pounds of body fat and put on 5 pounds of muscle. You cannot put on 10 pounds of muscle and lose 3 pounds of body fat. It's just not gonna happen for 99% of the people, unless you have superb, amazing genetics and you're a beginner and all those things I mentioned earlier. Which comes to number 3, which is my final thoughts and words, and whether this is better than the traditional bulk/cut phase. I think that body recomposition is overhyped. And it's also over glorified. People believe that it's gonna be something magical that will happen when they try to do both, where they can really change their body by doing both. And 99% of the time, it's not gonna happen. Once again, if that was the case, professional bodybuilders would do that already. The standard bulk / cut is gonna work a lot better for people. Yes, you're gonna go through the pains of bulking. Yes, you're gonna have times you're gonna put on body fat when you're bulking. Cutting as well, you're just gonna have to be in a deficit. You're gonna have to stay patient. At the end of the day, get better results compared to someone that did a body recomposition. That's it for today's video. If you got value from today, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit that notifications bell as well. And besides that, I will catch you guys on the next video.